I was sampled in a K-pop track. This is G-Friend, Sweetie. For those who don't recognize the background, and I almost didn't recognize it myself, a lot of the elements come from a remake I made back in 2017. I made this track live on a live stream. As you can hear in this remake, there are a lot of memes used throughout the track. Let's not dwell on the quality of humor. And so it just recently came to my attention from a fellow remaker, Caston, who has also made a lot of future-based remakes. He said, hey, did you know your track was used in this K-pop track? And I'm like, no one's told me this. Yeah, they're a pretty big K-pop act. They're doing pretty good for themselves. So he sent me this, and I took a listen, and my memory isn't so great. So listening to this, I was like, I didn't hear the similarities straight away. It wasn't until some iconic samples start popping up in the actual mix. Some of the actual meme samples that I use are in this production. There we go. The meme snare. This is the snare that was sent to me during the live stream from the legend, Asphyxia, who has made the greatest Legend of Zelda remix of all time. Let that be known. There's the snare. That's oh. It's there. Then later on, yes, the hit markers. The hit markers, you hear them. Some producer came across this remake and was like, this is what we're gonna use. Call the girls up. We have to make it a real thing now. So after hearing those couple of samples, like, oh yeah, you know, they probably just rearranged a lot of the stuff and kept some of the old samples in there. That's not a crime. I'm not gonna be mad about that. But the synths, those sound good, so I don't think I made those. They probably added them themselves. And he's like, no, those are your synths as well. They transposed it. They did. They transposed it down. You hear some of the other effects. The more I listen to it, like the hey samples. There's also a bass line. See, my bass is just this really plain sine, so there's nothing really crazy going on there. Theirs has a lot more of a sort of plucky attack envelope to it. Gives it its own identity. Stuff definitely has been changed. They definitely like reworked it, which I think is really cool. You know, if you're gonna sell it as your own song, change enough stuff so that it's not entirely recognizable just straight away. And I think if it wasn't for those few key samples, if it wasn't for the meme snare, I would have just not have heard the correlation at all. So it's funny that a K-pop track came from this, but so much more came out of this project remake. My Kawaii Future video, which was really one of the first deep dives into a specific sort of sound or artist style, and that would later lead on to all the other how-to videos that I would make thereon after. I also met Ujiko basically a year afterwards when he was in Amsterdam, and guess who else was there? Inverted Silence. We became friends, and we went on to make LES together, and now Herbie Hancock follows me on Twitter.
Right. That haunted me for days.
Life just throws you these curveballs. So I'm not angry at all. I think it's really cool. At the end of the day, this track was a remake, so I don't even have rights on it. Ujiko would have rights there. In my opinion, they changed enough to be its own thing. I'm fine with that. I'm happy that it was used for something really cool like that. So if any other K-pop act wants to collab, you know, I think we could work something out. b.t.s, you want some of this too? We can do it. So in other totally unrelated news, if you ever wanted to get lessons from a K-pop producer, then, you know, here's your chance. Just hit me up. Trust me, I'm gonna be insufferable for this for at least another 24 hours. So here's going into the new decade, 2020 to 2029. I hope to see you there. I hope we get to make more videos and hope just crazy stuff happens. Thank you everybody who watches my videos, who's been there since the beginning. It's been a long time now. I hope you have a great New Year's and a great New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.